to our 31st Zeam call. Here we'll discuss our progress for DevNet 1, and we'll look at Zeam progress, we'll look at our spec progress, and we'll look at how ready we are with regard to the Genesis generator. And then we can talk about any other events that are interesting, any other issues that might be interesting for DevNet 1 and Lean or Zeam in general. So let's start from Mercy.
Hello, good evening. So last week I had to reopen the PR I did on Linkwista. There was a lot of merging conflict, and reworking it would give me a lot of headaches than opening a new one. Then I did check on the block association validation failure and handling out, because on our current implementation it's correct and it's spec compliant. Then I think we can include an observability enhancements with optional metrics, not like excluding the metrics Katia did published out for us. But I think the issue that was raised, I think we are good to go in terms of keeping up with the spec and everything. The only thing we can do is include a kind of an enhancement, and then maybe include metrics like block attestation total, block attestation valid, and block attestation invalid. It can help us monitor attestation validation patterns in production without changing the core flow, which we are already following what the specs says and all of that. That's my update, and that's my opinion on that.
So what exactly was the problem?
There was an issue you raised on my PR. You told Anupa to raise an issue on let me get the issue number.
For attestation validation, you mean?
Yes. So
Right.
I think, yeah, I think the what our implementation currently aligns very well with the spec. So I was thinking the only thing we can do is include more of an enhancement to it, and also including an optional matrix. I don't know if that makes sense, to help us monitor better.
Got it. So is there a PR in mean spec, or is there an issue that you have raised, or
Yeah, I commented on the issue about the enhancement. So I was waiting for your reply. I tagged you and Anupa into it also, and also Kai, because I think he did contributed practically almost in specs implementation, so he would have like a more grounded idea around it.
so can you DM me the issue?
Okay.
So if any of you are basically stuck at some feedback, and basically you can tag us in the channel, or you can DM us, me and Guillaume, so that we can take a priority look. So don't hesitate to do that, and don't. And if you think your issue is not coming to focus because we are involved in so many things, just again DM us and or DM Nupur or Guillaume, right? So don't don't just wait for a response if you think that you need a response right away, or there is sufficient time that has passed beyond which now you are sort of stuck without getting response on that. And Mercy, so what about the other lean quick start PR for integration of Rust CLI tool? Where are we in that?
I'm Chetana gave me a review which I addressed. I had misconfiguration in the Git models, but everything works fine. I did run it. The keys were generated, but one thing I'm not sure about is how the clients, that would be like on the client side too, that will be able to consume the keys itself for the sign-in and verification. But the
So that client, the clients will access the repo if it's we have given it a standard name. Uh, I think I asked you to remove, not use the, not add the submodule, but use the Docker, and what is
Yes.
responded to that?
Once the Docker is ready, I can go on with the implementation. I'm waiting for the Docker implementation.
No, why don't you add the Docker implementation directly in your hash6 CLI? But you don't need to wait for it. It is our repo. In the
Okay, I should
hash6
create a
CLI,
Docker. Yeah, I should create the image myself
no, you
on
should
my
add
own
the
hub.
Docker. You should add the Docker file in hash6 CLI and then create a CI that pushes the that basically builds the Docker image on the CI and pushes it to our Docker hub. And I created a blockbase slash hash6 CLI Docker hub repo in Docker hub, and I think Nupur can basically add the access tokens that are required to the GitHub, as I have given her the access for it. So Nupur, where are we on that?
So currently, I'm like working on the. I have created a PR, and I'm working on um, creating the Docker image on Docker through RCI. So I'm just working on the uh, Zeam repo right now, and then I'll move to Hashig.
So we already have a Docker image creator in Zeam. So
Yes, but it's like it's not working. It's giving errors. So like I have to keep trying. So I mean,
is
I have.
our Docker file also not working? I thought our Docker file was
So
working, but not it went ops.
the last Docker file that I worked with the Docker file, our Docker file, and it gave some error and it crashed. So I was just working on that. I think it was.
But if I look at one of the Zeam main commits, the Docker build CI is saying successful in 24
Yeah, so
minutes.
the Docker builds, I don't know, sometimes it's built, but it was not pushing because the push was off. Now, when I change the push, it it gave some error. I'll just need some time, like by tonight, I think it should be done. So,
Got it. So can we get the image distribution sorted soon enough?
yeah, it should be, I think it should be done by tonight.
Okay, so one of the tasks that I have asked Chaitanya to work on is to have a release branch, which Nupur you can create and add the rule set that I shared with you. And
Yeah.
whenever basically we create a merge PR into that release branch, we not only release our code as mm, like how would in Zig Poseidon, but we also build the image and push it to the Docker Hub. Yeah, Guillaume.
Is there any specific reason to create Docker Hub push? Because the ETH Panda ops will should create a branch. But you need access. Yeah, but you guys should still have access to it. Maybe not. Okay, if you don't, then that explains why you would do this. Yeah. Okay, I have to look into this.
I mean, that is still okay, but we would also want to push in our own named organization repos, basically various images that we need, not only this particular thing. So we would basically replicate the same workflow everywhere, for example, in hash6 CLI as well, where we have this release branch, and whenever you create a release PR from main into this release branch, for example, the one that like that we did in Zig Poseidon, and when you merge this, then basically release processes get triggered, which is doing a version release as well as building the Docker and pushing it out there. Uh, so I guess in that sense, it is basically holistic to have this with us as well. Okay, so guys, please let's get this release thing sorted soon enough on most of the repos that are public facing, which is Zeam, which is Zig Poseidon already has it. Uh, I think we can also do it on Snappy Frames and Zig Snappy, as well as on Hash6 CLI. Uh, and once we do it on HASIC CLI, please let's use the Docker image of that in the Lean Quick Start, so that basically everything is just sorted. Anything else, Mercy, you are working on?
No, I'm still waiting for some reviews.
Uh, which PR are you waiting reviews on? Can you just
The,
list them in the Zeam community channel?
okay.
Cool. All right. Let's move to Partha.
Yeah, thanks. So last week I was working on achieving complete compatibility between the HashSig Zig implementation and Rust. I gave up on that and tried to make it interoperable in such a way that I generate a key on Rust and it signs and verifies properly on Zig. But unfortunately, while I was working on it and pushing changes, my laptop crashed and I cannot sort it out until I'm back in London next week. So I pushed whatever I had as partial commits. I just wanted to warn that Zig Poseidon, uh, repository that we have has two implementation. One called Rust compatible, which is tailor-made specifically for the HashSig implementation. The other is a generic Zig Poseidon implementation. I'm not sure if it's completely accurate yet. So if somebody is using it, just ensure you are aware of this before you use it. I have an implementation in the HashSig of the Poseidon function that is necessary, but it's not fully tested yet. So I hope to resolve it sometime next week once I have access to the repository. I now have a very old laptop, so I was doing some basic PRs, mostly on Lean Quick Start. I added support for Ansible, and I also have a Kubernetes deployment version ready. I've tested it locally, and I believe Chaitanya tested this even on AWS with his account. So if Gajendra, you can take a look and approve that PR, we can push that out. I hope to be back on the hashtag once I'm back in London next week.
Sounds good. I think it's very exciting to have Ansible as well as K8s integrated into our Lean Quick Start. So I'll take a look and I'll review it since Chaitanya has already tested it to be working. So I'll just go through it and see if there is anything obvious that speaks out. Otherwise, we'll merge it and I will also try it out soon enough.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Mercy.
Yeah,
Mercy.
Mercy.
Sorry, I just wanted to say something. I'm not sure if I'm right, but I think the Genesis, the my PR needs to get in first before the Ansible implementation. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, we will do that. One other thing with the Ansible implementation, once we have the signatures, is that how will we distribute the generated key pairs, because they are going to be like in GBs, right?
Yeah.
So we'll need to individually copy the directories to the particular nodes that are
Yeah.
running.
Or would it make sense for the key pair generation to be integrated into a specific client images itself? Maybe as a startup, you first generate the keys and then start using them. I don't know. This is just an idea I'm throwing out.
So that can be done basically not with a specific client. Basically on Ansible, you do a distributed key gen
Okay.
on all these nodes, and then you collect the
Okay.
public keys back.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
I think that would also be quite useful, because then there are multiple machines doing the compute, and if there are five machines, so the amount of time will go down by
Yeah.
five.
Yeah.
So that
Okay.
will be pretty interesting. Or maybe there can be even bigger number of compute machines out there who are doing this, and again, this can be collated back, right? So that can
Yeah.
be pretty interesting itself. Right. With regard to, so Partha was also supposed to work on integrating uh, the spec signature signing and verification on lean spec, but since Partha's laptop crashed, so we transferred that over to Anshul. So that way we can then go to Anshul and see what is the status on that.
Yeah, so that is like I have a basic version in my local. I hope to push it in some time. Uh, and like I should be able to do it by the end of today, most likely before that. Apart from that, I was working on the aggregation of signatures that implementing PR67 on our side. And apart from that, I think like I have like a couple of PRs that are already on staging. One of them was already reviewed by Kai. He had put up some minor comments in that. Maybe he can re-review it. And I am talking about like async event loop one. And once that is done, and like my other aggregation, the signature aggregation PR is merged, I'll continue to work on chain parent block syncing PR. I already have a version there, but it's not complete. There were like an additional issue that Gajinder posted, so I'll address that as well within that PR itself.
Got it. On PR67, I did add some more comments. Did you see them?
Uh, you have added them just now.
Not today. I think I added yesterday or day before.
Yeah, I have already addressed those. You had added them yesterday, sometime around something around the same time, and I have like resolved all of them.
Got it. So I'll take another look at it then.
Okay.
Cool. Let's move to Chaitanya.
Hello everyone. So this week, most of the time was just spent on building, testing, and all the CI DevOps stuff. So apart from it, I'll get to that later. Apart from it, the SSG Poseidon integration, there were some changes that Partha made last week. So those I have accounted for, but again, it's I've talked with Partha as well about this, about the validation of what we are doing over here, right? So since Partha has told me he is just working on the compatibility on #zig first, and the changes will be replicated to Zig Poseidon as he finds any differences between the two. So I'm just waiting to get that cleared first. But anyhow, the validation thing still stands since there is no other library that is using Poseidon for hashing. It's just that we can test it in terms of unit test, but not one-to-one correspondent test that we have for the existing SHA-based hashes. So that is something I would like to get some inputs and feedback on how can we go about, because other client teams have not yet started working on anything like this. So just to be sure that we are doing this right and things do not fall on us during later stages. Uh, but yes, this is what I did. The field thing, I did look into it. The correct field size for us is always going to be 16 fields, because 16 fields, 4 byte per fields, it fits well into the two chunks that we give SSG, and it makes sense for us. And the field last week, I think Gajinder did ask in the interop channel as well, is koala bear for us. So those are clear, but it's just the testing thing that is something I'm skeptical about. And on the DevOps side of things, a few things I'd like to share with everyone. The builds are somehow, I mean, I'm not sure why is it happening. Is it just me? Because Hugo did say his build was successfully going on the first try, but I'm unable to get any build, whether on my machine using emulated AMD 64. I rented out one of the best Amazon machines with around 200 CPUs as well, just to make sure that we are not hitting the connection pool quotas with Zig HTTP, but that was failing for me as well. So I spent a lot of time just trying to get this consistent build thing to work, and it didn't go through. The latest suggestion that Kim did on the conversation we had, the one about caching the zig cache itself, that is something that I've not tried yet, but the other solutions, using different build for different architectures and using manifest to combine them all, that is something I tried as well. But again, where I hit invalid instruction issues really soon, so I'm again hitting the wall on all edges for on this front. Ansible test, all good on my sides. Once these are merged, I can add the Terraform files to that as well, so that it just becomes a remote one-click workflow for everything. K8s, I'm not sure myself. I missed the lean call this week, so I'm not sure why do we need K8s here in the first place. If anybody could answer that as well. So primarily, these are my updates for this week, and also started working on the workflow thing. Another thing I would suggest, since we want to have this workflow pushing Docker images for various repositories we set up an org-wide workflow, and then you reuse those same workflows across the repos that we want.
I think we don't need gates. We just are adding Patha is basically adding them to showcase our versatility and sort of power of our lean quick start.
So
there was some chatter, I believe, on PQ where there was a suggestion from Green Team to probably consider using Kubernetes. So I just chose to add it to our Ansible test, saying that Lean Quick Start can be used even with Kubernetes. It's compatible with both. So
okay, makes sense. So then, if we are doing that, we are targeting a multi-node architecture, right? But Lean Quick Start from the get-go has been a single machine, just a local testing thing, at least for now. So
yeah,
uh,
but you could reuse this even on a Kubernetes setup with the distributed pods, not necessarily as servers. So that's what gives you, I mean, with this change, you can probably use it for a single machine deployment or a multi-machine deployment or multi-server as well.
okay, I've not tested the Kate things yet. I'll have to do
Yeah.
some readings
I mean,
as well.
I tested it only on my local Docker desktop. So it's a single machine deployment. But if you have enough, I mean, resources on your machine, probably you could try a distributed setup as well.
Sure, sure, sure. I already added you to the AWS, and so if your
Yeah,
account should be activated by now.
I accepted the invite, but I didn't really test it out because I'm on a very old machine. I'll do
Okay.
that as soon as I come back.
Okay, sure.
And
Yes.
sorry, Gajendra. While we there, this is another question that Chaitanya raised. I just posted a link there. I was not clear whether that conversation by Toma and Benedict means anything to us, because they are now debating going back to Keychack 256. So does it mean Poseidon is no longer being considered? I don't know. I needed some clarity because I don't see the Ream team or Clean team using Poseidon 2 hash for SSZ. So are we supposed to use the other reason I bring this up is that our implementation of Poseidon 2 in the hashsig library is specifically tailor-made for the signature generation. We don't use the generic implementation of Poseidon. So if we decide to use Poseidon 2 hash for SSZ, should we resort to the generic implementation or the implementation that's specifically tailor-made for hashsig signatures?
What is the difference? Is my first
So
question.
there are different parameters that differ. I believe again, Chaitanya can correct me if I'm wrong, but in hashsig there is an implementation of both 16 and 24 Poseidon with Coilabare implementation. But I believe Chaitanya saw something for bit 5, which I'm
Yes.
not sure. So
So I assume it's just something that probably slipped while it was being developed. Again, I don't mean to question anyone because this is something I'm not very well versed in myself. But the implementation, the ones that are being exposed right now, so these are called Koala Bear, Poseidon to koala bear 16 and Poseidon to koala bear 24. They are exposing field width of 5. I assume the 16 and 24 could probably just refer to the depth of the tree or something, as it does in the compatibility version. But
Yeah.
this has again, it's something, as I shared, it's bugged me for this week. How do I go about testing, and what do I think of as take as the source of truth? Because again, there are no references or specs around this.
Guillaume, maybe you can help us over here.
Are you talking about lean spec or proper testing? I don't.
So I think they are talking about which field to use and why, right?
Yeah, which Poseidon to hash function to use? Is it the generic implementation or the implementation, the Plonky 3 implementation that HashSig Rust crate uses?
Yes, not the field,
Well,
but the
okay.
exact hasher.
So the way I see it is there's still a lot of question happening. Like I didn't follow the thing you talked about where they were talking about replacing replacing Poseidon with SHA-256, but I'm not surprised this conversation has been happening. The way I see it is SHA-256 is way faster. It's more stable. It's more secure. The SSD library itself can handle both. You just have to make sure it's like you initialize the type with the type of the hasher, and you can pick whatever you want. So honestly, I think if they're not sure, and once again, I do not know where the reference comes from, and I would check with them first. I can ask Thomas if you want. But if we have to, like, if there's some uncertainty, I would pick SHA-256.
Yeah, I mean, I just posted that link of that PR discussion in this chat. I'm not sure what it implies. Maybe my understanding is wrong, but I thought they were, based on this conversation, trying to go back to Keychack 256 rather than Poseidon 2, but I may be wrong.
Okay, so the PR seems like it's completely, yeah, okay, Plum key 3. I want to check before merging. There is a small difference between SHA-3 and Ketchak. Yeah, okay. For instance, what they mentioned, I remember that when we wrote the 05 paper, we switched from SHA-256 to SHA-3 for some very specific reason. Okay, but that's not replacing Poseidon. This is okay. So no, sorry, they use Plonky 3. Okay, maybe I should read the entire issue. Okay, well, it says this is not a long-term solution. This is an issue or a pull request? Pull request.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so there are several things to this discussion. They want to replace SHA-256 with SHA-3, but maybe it's Ketchak. Someone made a mistake. Okay, you know what? Let's take it offline because we can spend a long time on this. I don't want to hold the entire meeting, but we can. Yeah, okay. Let's track it.
Yeah, Chavana.
Yep, totally unrelated, but I mean, it's related but unrelated to this conversation. So about the build failures, so has anybody had success? I know Hugo had success building the image, but you also mentioned that our local Docker hub should be working. It is working for me at instances, primarily on just the ARM platform, but outside of that, I'm just having a 100% failure rate right now across different architectures, VMs, local emulation, and everything. So it's just something I wanted to put out and ask if anybody else is facing that.
So I
So
did
wait.
not have success. and using
Yeah,
Docker Hub and creating the Docker image. So I'm just again trying again and again. So
Yep. I spent a lot of time and a lot of AWS credits this week just doing fresh starts, and I've probably done over 100 builds, just fresh builds. So it's just a lot of time, and none of those got through on the AMD 64 for me. And again, I even used the best virtual machines on EC2 as well. Those failed as well.
Yeah, but it's a limitation inside Docker, so it's not gonna change a thing. Um, did you try that thing I talked about where
The
you
cache.
yes, you build first and then you mount the cache and you do a build inside the Docker image so that it doesn't do the checking, and then this way you do have the result that lands in your layer, and then the Docker image can be built properly.
So I did do the independent build. I haven't checked the caching of just Zig cache itself, mounting that. But what the build is again, I was hit with invalid instructions when I tried porting the machine, the Docker image essentially.
Okay, but that means you're trying. Okay, maybe I misunderstood what you're saying. Send me the PR and where you're doing your
It's
thing. But
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
okay, so if you're reading invalid instruction, that means you're not building for the right target. So either you're just building for an older version of for a newer version of the processor that you are supporting in your VM. That would be a first explanation. Or you're building for a completely different instruction set to begin with, or something goes wrong and you try to execute data and yeah. Okay, show me code because I'm only guessing.
Sure, sure. I'll put out the PR sometime. But the architectures were yes, the instruction sets were different. The architectures were the same, and what I meant to convey by this was just that I don't feel this is again not tested the cache thing. If it's just the cache mounting that is going to work for us, but the interoperability, if we go this path, I'm very uncertain about. I'll get to you with the exact PR, but it was just building the image outside and then copying it inside Docker. That is what I did.
Yeah, but if you have, for example, a Mac, that's gonna be a problem.
No, it wasn't a
Uh,
Mac. So it was a T8G on Amazon. And then I
mhm.
tested that image on a T3G, which are both AMD 64, but it's some Intel Xeon versions that they are using, which probably have different instruction sets, but the architecture is the 64-bit AMD.
Okay, yeah, fine. Let's. Okay, understood. Yeah, send me the thing.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, let's resolve this async as well. Now let's move to Kai.
Yeah. Last week, have not much update on Zeam because I have to prepare my EPF final presentation and report. But I have some update of the Zigbee P2P. So I fixed two small issues. Right now, our client could be could be uh, could be communicate with all the quick clients, include Rust, Go, Java, and and I already submit the PR to the libp2p intop test repo.
Got it. So when do you think that we'll be able to see some of the Zigbee P2P in action?
Uh, so, mm, I think for current DevNet 1, so we can only use the version gossip sub 1.0. Is it right? Because I didn't implement the V 1.1 and 1.2, so we missing some features such as peer scoring and mm, and
It's going to
yeah.
be 1.0 for now, but I think we are soon reaching a stage where we will try to basically optimize peering, because once the signatures start flowing in and we
Yeah.
have a multi-node setup, then basically the question of how to optimize the P2P transmission for aggregation of signatures, I think that question would become important. So I think DevNet, post DevNet 1, will start seeing some of the focus on P2P.
Okay. Okay. So I think I can use a specific branch so to integrate the Zigbee P2P, so it cannot we can do other things parallel.
Cool. All right. So we can then move on to Nupur.
Hi. So last week, I made some changes to the finalized slot to block root index PR, and I made some Copilot reviews. I just made some changes according to the Copilot reviews and got into your reviews, and they are ready for further review. And then I'm working on the Docker workflow thing today.
Got it. Hugo, you have anything for us?
No, nothing from my side. I've just been looking into the lean spec repo, and yeah, I was also looking at this. I think there is a PR in Zeam related to the lean spec fixtures. I was looking how to generate the fixtures from lean spec, and yeah, what I didn't understand was how to run these fixtures on this PR from Guillaume, I think it is, because this spec test tool, I think expects 3 JSON files, one with the I think is the input, the block, and the output, but the fixtures is just one JSON file. So I didn't get how it works.
Yeah. So what I did was I haven't looked at the new way to make the lean spec stuff. So this is probably incorrect. Yeah, I've wrote the executable before the framework existed, so there needs to be an adaptation basically.
I think this is this remind me to the how, for example, get in other clients were used to run the status, right? Because they require 3 files, I remember. And for example, the other tool kind of split the input file into 3, right? Something like that.
Yeah, that's the idea, and that's what the inspiration is. But like I said, I just did my best to take a guess as to what was going to happen, and I have to check when I can find some time. I have to check when someone can. Sorry, when I can resolve the two things. Okay.
So I did look at the lean spec PR and reviewed it, but I don't remember if there is an actual test fixture in there. Did it have anything?
Yeah, I think they had some basic ones, but yeah, there was some kind of like basic tests. I think.
Okay, it's cool. I'll take a look at it and then also take a look at it games PR because I haven't seen that as well. Yep. All right. Then moving to me. So basically, I've been reviewing PRs as well as looking at the spec PRs. Apart from that, so with regard to the discussion that Partha was bringing up regarding SSD Poseidon integration. So why we are doing it? We are doing it because it's in our mission phase 2 charter that we will do SSD Poseidon integration and sort of show it in prover that we have. So that is for that. But apart from that, I think we can push it in the lean spec in the PQ DevNet agenda in the future DevNets as soon as we have the aggregation in, because this is basically part of lean consensus itself, where we are trying to make it everything grower friendly. Apart from the fact that the other PR that you mentioned, so there could be some to and fro on it, but the aim of going to Poseidon was to make it grower friendly. So if that concern has been resolved, then maybe there is some change. So I'll follow up that conversation as well, and we can sort of discuss it and see how it's going, and from our, what we need to do with regard to that. But even if that is the case, it would still be beneficial to show that we can show our work with the Poseidon 2 hasher, because that sort of opens the path for switching out other hashers as well, right? So in that sense, I think it's anyway still a valid goal that we need to pursue and close it out. So I need to also review the other PRs on Lean Quick Start, which I did review, and I commented on them. And so the aim now is basically to bring the DevNet one together. PR 67 implementation that we have, most probably, I think we'll take another round and merge it if everything is addressed. And as soon as Anshul will put up the lean spec PR, I will review it, and then we can try to get it merged in the lean spec itself before the next Wednesday call. And hopefully by next Friday, we can integrate it. With regard to the hash sig library, Anshul, I think one of the PRs that you had was about creating the bindings for the Rust library, right?
Yeah, so GM rebased that branch after his update and it has already been merged.
Got it. So for now, we will be using that so that there is no daylight between where we need to get between implementing the work and while we basically wait for Partha to establish the correctness and the correspondence. So as soon as that gets established, we will switch it out. So that is there. Is there anything else that you would like my input on? Cool. So if there is delay in me responding to any of the comments because there is so much of tagging going on that I don't really look at GitHub mentions. So if you think that I need to look at something, please DM me if I haven't looked at it. Or you can also tag in the Zeam community channel or reach out to Nubur. Apart from that, I think as a team, we have come really far and we are doing very good. And seems like we have actually formed a very cohesive team with everyone taking the responsibility, ownership, and running with it. So in that regard, I would like to congratulate all of you. But again, on the same time, don't let it go to the head. This is only the beginning. And yes, we need to keep repeating our success and our domination of lean consensus protocol, the contributions that we are making to it, as well as in the spec. So we need to stay on front. We need to make sure that we are seen leading in all these ways, and to basically, push forward the agenda of lean consensus. And there are other exciting things that Zeam is planning, and then we will basically also push forward on other things. So Zeam has one agenda of, for example, delivering on Pico DevNets, and there are other agendas like we want to stay ahead in prover play. And and for example, another of the agenda is that we want to show the SSZ uh, uh, Poseidon 2 as the SSZ hasher, and how it's coming along in that way. So PQDevNet is quite a big agenda, and it's one of our core focus. But then we have these small other focus areas as well to keep building our expertise on proving and zero knowledge, so that we have our distinct strength showcased to the world. And obviously, we'll have to build it first, and we are building it. Yeah, Partha.
Sorry, Gajendra, just wondering, you mentioned proving, and given, so I just wanted to understand what your thoughts or plans are, given that majority of the ZK related stuff right now is completely on Rust. What are the plans around building something similar on Zig? Is that something on the Zeam's roadmap? Because the work there is quite large. So what was your thought? Just reuse the Rust bindings of other ZK uh, uh, projects that are out there, and then try to leverage that and try to achieve proving in Zig? Or are you also considering building pure Zig implementations of things?
So I would let Guillaume first answer this, and then I would add my thoughts on it.
Yeah, you saw I was getting agitated. Yes, so I would say both, but clearly the first step, and currently it's broken, so I didn't give any updates. But yeah, that's what I'm currently doing, like as we speak. We want to reactivate the building, which was broken for PQ DevNet 0. And I would say at least would be great to implement the verification in Zig, which would be a lot faster and a lot lighter. Like you said, the whole reimplementation of all those EKVMs in Zig, that would be great, but I think it's a long-term project because all of these ZKVMs, they are changing all the time. So we don't want to do this. I have to give some pushback that was given to me by people during the Cambridge Interop. No, most of the code is not written in Rust. It's actually written in C++. It's a very thin Rust layer. I mean, it's still a lot of Rust code, but it's a very thin layer wrapped around C++ code, actually. So it's not as much of a stretch. I've been told. I didn't check for myself, right? This is what Thomas and I forgot who else, maybe Mami, told me. So it's actually not that much of a stretch to re-implement all this stuff in Zig, but given the variability in the code base, in the Rust code base at the moment, I would wait. So right now, unfortunately, we're stuck with Rust bindings.
Yeah, just to add on that, we are not getting into the business of developing a ZKVM. So we are in the business of developing a runtime program for ZKVM, and that is where our focus will lie. And in that sense, if we have a more seamless integration with the ZKVMs, not via through Rust bindings, then we would definitely like to chase that.
Okay, sounds good.
So in that sense, basically, we would like to sort of have execution proving integrated at some point, and we are basically looking at it. Uh, so if someone is interested, if Partha, you are interested in that, then we can talk on this
Sure.
separately.
I am interested in, but in terms of priority, I'm just trying to understand. There was another, I believe, an IAC that they were proposing for the signature scheme in Cambridge, right? That probably gets a more higher priority when compared to the ZK thing, doesn't it? Because in terms of PQ roadmap, that comes a higher, I mean, more immediate requirement than the other.
So that is again not our focus, because that is the work that is being done by again Toma and all. So we'll
Okay.
just use the just bindings, because signature verification right now is how we have structured is not part of the proving.
Right.
So if you look at state transition function, especially after the name list PR, it does not take signatures at all, and that is one of the reasons to change to basically aggregate out all the signatures in a separate field. So
Right.
block now carries no signature, and when you have the state transition function, when you are proving the state transition function, uh, it does not need to worry about the signature. It just takes the field in and validates it. Basically, it's sort of a explicit check to say
Mm-hmm.
that the signatures are validated outside. Otherwise, you don't even need to have that flag. But it sort of establishes the fact that okay, you have made this check already outside the state transition function. So with that regard, that will also solve the previous problem that we started having with our risk CI, where game, the size became big, because now the size will again become small, since all the signatures are abstracted out, and what goes into state transition function is simple block which does not has any signature. So all the objects in it are without signatures and will compress back to the previous smaller size in that regard. But we basically need to see what is the maximum size of the block that it can finally accept, because if how big is the CL block that we will support in terms of proving. So we still need to work on that, but that problem will be just resolved by merging of the PR that Anshul is working on, which implements PR67, which has aggregated out all the signatures. So in that regard, that problem is solved for now in short term, but we will need to see what is the biggest CL block size that we can support for proving.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Mercy, you wanted to say something?
No, I just wanted to add that I'm interested in that, but I will get a little more into it once, because I ordered the laptop and it's taking forever to get to me. My laptop is usually crashes whenever I do heavy cryptography stuff. So
Got it. Yeah, so there could be contributing opportunities over there, but yes, I guess as of now, we still need to get our DevNet one going, and then so the focus is still PQ DevNets, but then there is Zeam focus, which is the second number of focus after PQ DevNet is to further Zeam agenda, and this is where it all sets in. All right. So anything else we need to talk about?
yes, I wanted to say also, I don't know if I'm lost, but is there any other thing on respect to DevNet one that needs attention to?
Uh, So for DevNet 1, the next thing is integrating the signatures. Basically, doing the signing and verification. So that is the next thing. But for that, Anshul is also working on the spec PR. So first we'll work on the spec PR and get it merged, and then we'll integrate it in Zeam. So you can look at the spec PR as well. And if you are looking for tasks, Nupur, what are the pending tasks that can be assigned to Mercy? So generate a list of them, and I'll take a look.
Yeah, I'll
And
generate a list.
cool. So we'll just share open task list, and I'll say that okay, what is the priority for now. All right, guys. Thanks for being here, and we will now see you next month on 7th, right? 7th November,
Yep. Thank
same
you.
time.
Sorry, one last thing. Sorry. Are we going for? Do we have a call or a meeting in DevConnect, Argentina?
So I am not in DevConnect, and Guillaume will be there, I think. You mean team meeting?
Yes, because I'll be at I'll be going to Argentina at least next week or so.
So I think maybe next week we can talk about this, whether we will have a call that week or not. Mostly we will run a call because I'll be here, so we can always run a call and see who else can join in.
What I was saying is, do we have Beam Day, Lean Day in DevConnect?
No, there is no lean day in DevConnect. Next
Okay.
lean day will be next year. There could also be a lean day planned on HCC, but this is very early, so this news just take it with a grain of salt. Right now, there was no lean day plan on HCC, only ETH proofs day, but maybe there is one that gets planned. But as such, right now there is no information on next lean day. All right, guys. So time's up, and then we'll see you next time on 7th November.
Yep. Thank you. See you.
Take-
Bye bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.